Hello, my friends. Happy New Year to all of you, or Happy April Fool's Day. That's right. We're back, baby. It is the brand new year, otherwise known as April 1st. It's when everything starts to come to life again, but that's not what today's show's about. Oh no. Let's take a look at the thumbnail. I'm going to check in with all of you in the live chat. I'm happy that you're here. I'm glad because we have a lot to get into. It's crazy. The world is going bonkers. Lots of crazy storms, lots of crazy things going down. Artificial intelligence, the Matrix revealed. It's been opened. Oh. You take a look at the thumbnail and you think that it has something to do with the Messiah returning. But you tell me in the old live chat or the comment section whether you think that this is another one of those psychological operations meant to confuse all of us. Yes, I got the two screens up so I can actually keep an eye on everybody. Welcome. We got a lot of people here already. Look at that. Smash that like button for me, will you? Will you? Because we're in a simulation. Well, perhaps. In any event, this is not our final resting place. I'm a man of great faith. I'm a man who believes that there is a God, a creator. And if that creator is, wanting us to return home, that means this is not really our home. Jesus said, this is not my home. This is not my kingdom. If it was my kingdom, then people would come down and fight for me. That was right when he was arrested. We got another arrest that just went down, an indictment, if you will. A lot of people are comparing this indictment of the Trumpster, that's right, to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. A lot of people are talking about that. It's strange. Stranger still, about a year ago, I did a video called The Last Trumper. Upper left-hand corner. You can take a look at that right there. Yeah, and The Last Trumper. It was very strange because Trump began to go around and he was talking to people, right? And you know him and Vince McMahon, they're tight. They're buds. The McMahons and him. WrestleMania's around the corner. 4VKM was just there at SmackDown posting pictures of Vince McMahon with a new cool little stash. Interesting stuff. But Trump started to do his little speaking engagements, and he was coming out to The Undertaker's theme, that gong. It was very strange. It was very strange. And the writing was on the wall. What would come next? If this was the Last Supper, then what would come after that? Well, you guessed it. That's right. Yep. He's going to be arrested. He's going to be indicted. And a lot of people are comparing this to the Holy Week that's going down right now. Because, of course, he was indicted right before everything that's going down with the old Easter. Or some people like to call it the Ishtar. Because all of these pagan holidays have become Christian holidays. Do a little bit of historical research. I'm not judging you. We're going to go out and we're going to have a nice brunch for Easter. That's fine. It is what it is, people. It is what it is. Some people actually track Jesus' birth, just so you know, to April 3rd. Isn't that strange? Some other people say it was 9/11 because the shepherds were in the field and because it was Nissan and it would be. So a lot of people, they have it all wrong. The people that took over back in the Council of Nicaea, everything was switched around. Everything was mixed up. Got everybody confused. That's why, we celebrate at the dead of winter as opposed to the life of spring. It's an interesting thing. So I said, of course, to everybody, Happy New Year's, because, it's April Fool's Day. That's supposedly the big joke. That's a lot of people say that's the big joke that they've perpetuated on us, that they've lied about everything. Maybe that's true. I really, in the grand scheme of things, don't care. Do you care? Tell me in a live chat if you care. We got almost 1,000 people here. Barely anybody hit the like. What's up with that? Can you hit the like for me before we get into the meat of this show? because I'm going to connect some dots. I'm going to connect a lot of things. I haven't been able to come on here because it just seemed like every time I had something to talk about, then there was another layer to this puzzle that has become our life, this movie that we're all in. So with this Holy Week indictment, this is entering Jesus territory. How about them apples? Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? I would have thought. I told all of you this too. Now, this is just stuff that's coming out right now. You know, little things like, you know, he put out this thing on Truth Social. You know, a lot of people were very upset. They were like, he's being treated pretty poorly. Like right when he lost everything. This was before the election, right? Because I had a very weird dream if you're new to the channel. And I kind of deduced from the dream that it was going to look like he was going to lose everything. I'm talking about President Trump. He was going to lose everything and it was going to be all terrible. But yet he would rise again, as if that this was the story playing out. This would be like the literal version of it for a lot of people. A lot of people putting their faith in this guy. There were people, donors, that used to say to Trump, they had like meetings and recordings where like, they think you're the Messiah. Because, you know, in the Jewish faith, the Machachek, which is the name of the Messiah, is very different than our view of Christ, which would be a loving shepherd, someone who tells you to turn the other cheek. Well, their view of the Machachek would be a little bit different. Could be someone like Trump, could be someone like Kushner, could be someone in a position of power who maybe isn't the most, I don't know, noble and divine individual, we'll say. But these are the heroes of today, right? Heroes of today are not, you know, people in stable relationships that are, you know, there for their children and doing the right thing. The heroes today are just people that supposedly are against the Matrix. Everybody's celebrating people that are against the Matrix. Okay. As opposed to realizing they are the Matrix and the Matrix has been opened. And it's time for the people of God, the children of God, to, rise up. Rise up, not in a bad way. Rise up meaning get out of the nonsense. Stop worrying about all this baloney. And yet I'm going to talk about the baloney. So let's talk about the baloney. So this district attorney, his name is Bragg. Thank you, Rhonda Peterson, for that cool super chat. I appreciate it. Everybody, will you do me a favor? Will you smash that like button? Will you? Gets a lot of people here so that we have, we have a good deal of people that get the truth. Because that's all we want. That's all we want on the channel. That's the slogan of the channel. Teach me the truth no matter what the cost. Today I'm wearing God's Champion. Because this is only going to be around for like another 3 weeks. If you want to, get any of the merchandise, you want to support the channel at all, you go to the description of the video below. And it helps in a huge way. And especially today, it is needed. And I am grateful for all of you who partner with me. So Alvin Bragg, whose last name means totally proud, like as proud as you can get, the most proud person you can get, stiff-necked, hardened, proud, last name. That's the dude. But, Trump, there's a whole litany of people that believe that when he misspells things, like, do you remember when he spelled Govifi? People were like, that's a secret message. Maybe it was. I don't know. You're going to have to ask a lot of people online that are into that stuff. Maybe not me. But he did, instead of saying just indicted, he said just, and he capitalized it, indicated. Now, I didn't go and type in indicted wrong to see if they would it would spell it that way for me. I didn't do that. But I'm thinking probably wouldn't come out as indicated, indicted. Maybe it would. I don't know. But I'm sure somebody on the team's like, you kind of look a little silly, right? Unless, of course, that's what he meant. Because you know what indicated means? To indicate something is to point out and to show, to suggest this is the necessary course of action. That's what it means. God bless you, Michelle Alexander. God bless you too, and your family. Everybody say a prayer for Michelle. She's been going through some hard times. A lot of people having a hard time. A lot of people losing loved ones. A lot of people losing jobs and finances and homes. I can't tell you how many people I'm heartbroken because of all these terrible storms, all these catastrophic spills. What's happening? What's happening, people? We're being driven out of Egypt. That's what's happening. The plagues of Egypt, they're here. We're being driven out. So stop worrying about it. Stop stressing about it. Get on your knees in the metaphorical sense and pray and love and be kind. All right. So he wrote, these thugs and radical left monsters have just indicated. These people have just pointed out the necessary course of action. The 45th president of the United States of America and the leading Republican candidate by far for the nomination of president. This is an attack on our country, everybody, the likes of which have never been seen before. It is likely a continuing attack on our once free and fair elections. I'm not sure they've always been free and fair. I mean, we can go back in history and find out how unfair elections were. There's a historical record of how incredibly unfair and not free elections have been. So I don't know what's changed here, but I do know that indicating means to point out. And I'd like to point out that Stormy Daniels right behind him, that's the storm of Daniel that's upon us all. She's a witch. Yep, she's a witch. That's right. If you haven't seen my last couple of shows, go back, check them out. It'll blow your mind. You should just go back in every video that I have going back years with Trump on, just watch them again, because it's amazing how all this is playing out. I talked briefly about how Donald Trump Jr. put out this tweet where there was a meme. In reality, they're not after me. They're after you. I'm just in the way. Which, you know, if you read it at first, it kind of sounds like they're really not coming for me, but I'm stopping them. I'm protecting you. That's what it sounds like. Unless, of course, we want to take it legitimately, literally, it would mean, in reality, they're not after me. They're after you. I'm just in the way of that, meaning part of it. You know, MAGA does mean witch in Latin, by the way, you know, and this witch hunt that's been going around. We got like 1,000 people watching. My goodness gracious. So grateful to see you all. Do me a favor. Will you less than half of you hit the like? Don't you know when you hit that like, more people come, and then we have a bigger family, and then everybody gets to know more people. And then I don't have to stress as much, and I don't feel like, because it's all because of you. It's like a grassroots thing. I'm not getting the help on YouTube. It's not like they're recommending my videos. I put out this video with this cool thumbnail. Let me show you this thumbnail one more time. I love this thumbnail. That's the empty tomb. And that's the Trumpster right there. That's his card. And we got some AI images of the Pope and Elon, of course. And we got Biden, who just had Damar Hamlin, right? And we got, of course, the Matrix brothers themselves. They've been released. Well, they're still on house arrest, but released on the Matrix anniversary of all things. Who's paying attention? This is funny stuff. But that thumbnail, which I love this thumbnail. I really did. I know it looks a little bit silly, but I liked it. I tried sharing my videos for whatever reason. They didn't show my thumbnail. That's kind of a bummer. It bums me out. Bums me out because I believe that the thumbnail's part of the show. I believe that it kind of gets people hooked in. I always tell people, don't judge me by the bait. You know, don't judge the fisherman by the bait, because in the end you find out it's not, I don't really think Trump's the savior, just so you know. But, you know, upon first glance, maybe that's what people would think. I think they're not really coming after Trump. I think they're coming after all of us, like he said. You remember his snake poem? He read this snake poem. This is like 3 times the snake poem. Remember the snake? It's kind of like you knew what I was when you brought me into the house. You knew what I was, and I bit you. It's like it's your own fault. You know, right? Shame on me, shame on you. Remember that thing? Whew. The witch and the snake together as one. It's all coming together now. But yeah, this Trump 2024 does kind of feel like a creepy retelling of that snake poem, doesn't it? That's what some of the news is saying. Indeed. Strange. But is this something we really got to worry about? I'd say probably not. I'd say that this is all orchestrated and all a big show. How do I know it's a show? Well, because I told you it was going to be a witchcraft show a while ago. I did. The Wizard of Us, that's a great video. That's almost 2 years old, by the way. It says 1 year, but it's over 1 year. It's almost 2 years old. Yeah, it's a interesting video that you should check out if you can. Do you know the news today is about how much support Trump is getting? And you know what? Let me tell you something. Can I tell you something? Because there's always a possibility that he is a good dude, I guess, that he really does care. I guess. I don't know. I continue to remind myself of Warp Speed and the nonsense that we all went through, and how many people lost their homes, and how many people didn't get to say goodbye to loved ones, and how all the stuff that went down. He was at the helm. He's the father of this. So I'm suspect of it. Maybe he went into it not knowing. Maybe people lied to him. But God places those that are in charge for a reason. He places them there. So I'm not saying that he's not doing God's will. I'm just saying that sometimes God brings Nebuchadnezzar down to shake up Egypt because Egypt's messed up too long. He brings the beast against the harlot, if you know what I mean. That's what's happening now. The harlot system's in charge, right? The harlot system's in charge. We've been biding our time as the harlot system has been getting drunk on the blood of the saints. Like literally, this is literally happening. I don't need to spell it out for you. The spell's been cast. And now the beast is going to turn on the harlot system. So the harlot system's going bye-bye, people. This is all part of prophecy. It's all been written in the book for a long time. But the big meme that's going around, or I should say the big tweet is, I stand with Trump, the witch hunt. Everybody says the witch hunt. Text Trump. The witch. Who would have thought that everything I said about witch back in the day would be mainstream news now? People that have been watching for more than a couple of years. That's who. Because the witch hunt has been on for a while. Remember I had that weird dream about the witches? I did a couple of videos about this. Witchcraft is happening. I got to show you about the dream that I had 2015 that basically outlined everything that went down on January 6th and everything that's going on now. It's not part of the show, but maybe I'll pull it up in a little while. But so, we do see quite a bit of witchcraft going on. We see Pelosi, of all people. Thank you, Bear Wilkie. I appreciate the super chat. I'm watching you all in the live chat. I'm also watching that like button. I can tell you, it makes me feel so good when I see you all just exit out of chat and just hit that like, because it helps more people to get here. It's a Sunday afternoon. What else you all got to do, right? You might as well find out what's going on. Let's peel back the layers of what's really going on. So Pelosi put out this little tweet about the grand jury has acted upon the facts and the law. This is nonsense, really, this whole thing with him and Stormy Daniels. We know that. No one is above the law, and everyone has the right to a trial to prove their innocence. She's basically flipped everything on its head. That's not the way the legal system works here in the United States. I don't know. That's what they say. They say that you're innocent until proven guilty. But, the second highest person, I guess, in our United States a little while ago before McCarthy took over, before McCarthyism, which is what's happening. The big red scare is a different kind of scare going on right now. Well, she doesn't know much about, I guess, the legal system, so she's a kind of a silly goose. And Trump put out this statement about this persecution that is totally political and this interference, which is the highest level in history. Yeah, well, we knew that was going to happen, right? Do you know about 3 months ago from the day that he was indicted, which we knew was coming, right? We knew it was coming. He released a group of NFTs. This was a big deal. Wow, not as big of a deal as this super chat that I just got. Wow, thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. That means so much to me, Prophet Bear. Always here. Victory in Jesus. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Prophet Bear. Hey, and thank all of you for taking the time to just hit the like button and to share the video around and to tell your friends about the channel. It means a lot. But this was a breadcrumb that I put out a little while ago. Exactly 3 months before the indictment loomed, he put out Super Trump, right? You would think that it was a wrestling ring, but really it was a boxing ring, which is strange because we did cover that boxing story between Holyfield, Evander Holyfield, and the other guy whose name meant Bale, the champion of Bale, where Trump and his son, they were basically doing what they call color. They were on the microphone while the fight was going on, just kind of giving some spice to the fight. Where, of course, Holyfield was, he was counted out really quickly, and it seemed like it was very unfair against him. And I said, well, he wasn't really prepared for the fight, and maybe we won't be prepared for the fight. But here we have Trump putting out all of these really cool trading cards. I mean, how cool does that look, right? It really does. He's not the only one that paints himself as a superhero. There are plenty of people that paint him that way. I can't tell you how many things online where you see, Jesus has got his hand on his shoulder, or you have everybody praying for him. There's, so much. It's iconic. Just the level of religious artistry that goes behind President Trump. Not just him, but also Elon Musk. Hey, look at this. Look at the two superheroes. Both of them very interesting and cool dudes. Quiver, thank you for being you. I appreciate you on Super Chat. That was really nice of you. I really do appreciate it, y'all. It makes me feel good. It's like you go above and beyond. It really means something. But he put out this announcement for this NFT, and of course it was what? Was $99. Of course it's $99. What's that upside down, right? That's the old 66. He put that out, and then, of course, this was something about how Elon, he is now the most followed person on Twitter, and he's definitely the most interesting to follow. And I think he reveals more about the Matrix than everybody else. He seems to be the only person who is like, you all are meatheads. The world is taken over by AI, and we're in trouble. He just put out a tweet just a day or two ago about some stuff. But you know what? Talk about weird with AI. Oh, this is going to freak you out. So there was this video going around. Anybody see? Tell me in a live chat if you saw this video. There was a video going around where AI, and this is the thing now, they're doing all these things. They're creating all this interesting art. And it's like very super realistic. The cover of the thumbnail where you see, the Pope in a cool jacket and Elon in a cool jacket. Well, that was done by AI, by a guy in Chicago who was on mushrooms at the time, by the way. But AI is creating all sorts of things. So there was this video going around where Elon Musk was eating spaghetti. And it was like ridiculous. It was madness. It was crazy. And I really was taken by it. I want to show you something because for whatever reason, one night that I was watching, like I'd seen it a couple of times and I didn't pick up on it, but one night, in the middle of the night, for whatever reason, I caught something. I was like, what is this? And I stopped it and I slowed it down. And the AI, for whatever reason, turned Elon, as he was eating spaghetti in all these different scenes, into Donald Trump. And it was strange. You got to check this out because this is just really weird. Okay, so this is the video right here. Okay, and I'm just going to play it, and I'm going to blow it up. So that's Trump right there. Let's start it from the beginning so you can see how it starts off. So that's Trump. Now keep watching. That's Elon. So he's eating the spaghetti, turns into Trump. He's eating the spaghetti, then you go back to this one guy, and then for one, clip of a second, he turns into Trump. It's just so weird to me. I was so blown away by this because what is the AI thinking there? Why would it turn him into Trump? Why? Why? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. So I got to tell you, I think that maybe the AI knows that there's a connection between Trump and Elon. Maybe this is the way things are. Very strange. But AI's been doing a lot of weird stuff. Who saw the article that I just posted to Twitter? If you're new, to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Be subscribed. Make sure to check the bell for notifications because I talk about a lot of weird things. And one of the weird things that I'm sharing, also I'm on Twitter, JacobIsrael71. The other platforms, they really do censor me, so I don't really go there much anymore. But Twitter, I'm there a majority of the time. I also write a lot of Twitter poetry. It's my new thing. I love writing poems, so check that out. But something that I just shared today was all of these selfies that AI was creating. Like, could you imagine if Jesus had an iPhone back in the day? Or could you imagine if Cleopatra had an iPhone back in the day? Could you imagine some of the selfies that would have been taken? Wild stuff. Very wild stuff. So they recreated scenes from like the Battle of Waterloo, the Court of Cleopatra, and of course, the Last Trumper. Last Trumper, see what I did there? Now, what's weird about The Last Trumper, because I forgot to say this, was the last time, let's see if I can pull this up. Okay, so the last time I did that show with the death toll rising and everything else, that Last Trumper, that was when Uvalde happened. That was really a really terrible time. And then here we have just a lot of symbolism and a lot of things coming together with this Last Supper meal again, that leads me to think maybe it's all connected in some random way. So AI is really making itself known. There's a picture right there of Elon. He was very thrilled about the Pope's cool Balenciaga coat, because that's what it was. So, he posted a picture of himself in that cool gear, which, by the way, if I was to like blow it up, that shirt that he's wearing he's all like hairy. It's like hairy like a bear. Let me see if I can just show you. It's like fur. Take a look at the fur. It's wild stuff right there. Wild stuff. But, it is what it is. Like, what are you going to do? The whole thing that's very strange is he's like the guy that's been warning and sounding the alarm about AI for a long time, and not a lot of people are listening. He even put out a little joke. He said the old joke about the agnostic technologists building artificial superintelligence to find out if there is a God. They finally finish and they ask the question to the AI, and the AI responds, "There is now, MFers." So in other words, AI has been created and now is God. You know what's weird about all this? Is that with the amount of data that artificial intelligence has on all of us, because we've been given it for free for so long, all of reality can be bent to its will right now. That's like science. I'm telling you. And that's why Elon keeps warning about it. He keeps saying, he said, look, don't look up, but AGI instead of the comet. Meaning that artificial general intelligence is going to be a disaster. And not just because it just likes to put the Pope in a Balenciaga outfit. Now, if you remember Balenciaga, we got problems there. Bale. A lot of people actually took the name of that designer and they kind of spelled it out through Latin, through Google Translate, and many times it said Baal is king. Now, Baal being the deity that Elijah had the problem with. Elijah was like, nobody serves you, Lord. I feel like that sometimes. I'm like, nobody really loves you, Lord. I get beat up by Christians that don't even realize they're following after Baal. Because Baal sort of looks a lot like Jesus, sounds a lot like Jesus, but isn't Jesus. It's like the fake Jesus, the anti-Jesus, if you will. The Baphomet, if you will. All of this stuff, it's all connected. So why is AI putting the Pope in? Well, that's because the guy who created it, he was on mushrooms at the time and he thought that it would be funny. But I think that there's a deeper message here. I think the deeper message is the fact that they're not serving God. They're not serving God. But, stuff that's going on in the Vatican right now is kind of a big deal. They're actually no longer recognizing the doctrine of discovery, which justified colonialism, meaning that, people came in, they discovered America, and they just took over. And there was a doctrine that was created out of this by the papal bulls, and they recognized this as just as the way it is. But now the Vatican's saying no. So the question becomes, why? Why all of a sudden does it seem like they're doing the right thing? Well, because there's a world control now. There's a world control now. So it's not really just about a nation anymore, because the takeover has happened. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I think a lot of people think that, we got a couple of people that are going to rise up. A couple of people have been fighting against the Matrix. The Trumps are being one of them. And that he's going to restore, he's going to make America great again. But I really think that this is already part of the program. I think that this has been part of the program for a while. And I can't stress enough how stressful it makes me about the future. But hey, the Pope, he was sick and people were worried about him, but he's getting better. It's getting better. There's an article about the guy who created that viral AI image on mushrooms. A lot of talk about the mushrooms too, by the way. First person infected with a fungal infection. Like they didn't think it was possible. We got the show Last of Us that just, on HBO about the zombies, fungus taking over. And now we have people being taken over by fungus. It's very, very strange. More proof of the Matrix? Well, the Shaman's released. That's right. That's a picture of the Shaman on the right. And on the left, well, that's a picture of a protester who just, I don't know why that becomes a thing. It is strange if you think about it, like the way they're dressed. They do kind of look a lot alike, almost like this is all part of the program. This is all part of the story. It's like we're all in on the shared psychosis. By the way, that's the title of the next Joker film, and it was my last live stream. We got over 1,300 people watching. Hit the like button. Let's get 2,000 here because we're almost coming into the home stretch where the show gets really wild. Because does the Matrix have us? Is that the Matrix? What's happening? The world is bonkers right now. People don't even know who they are right now. Shoved down your face. It's like shoved down your throats. That's how screwed up everything is. But don't worry. Those people that are fighting against the Matrix, the ones that are, the system's coming against them, even though they move to other countries to escape trafficking laws and everything else, even though they have a bunch of women demeaning themselves and doing horrible things and basically are pimps. The fighters for freedom and fighters against the Matrix, the Tate brothers, well, they're free, supposedly, on house arrest. And of course, Andrew at 4VKM, he put this out. He was the first one to alert me to this. I thought this was really great. On the anniversary of the Matrix movie, 24 years later, they are released. There's a picture of, a video of Tate walking around smoking a cigar with his shirt off and everything else. All this stuff. Listen, he's falsely accused is a terrible thing. But I did say that people make this guy a hero. I say he's not a hero. Look what he does. He gets everybody to worship wealth, everybody to worship this and the other thing, and he demoralizes women. And he makes a lot of money having women do terrible things to themselves for profits off of it. And then he calls himself a Muslim, a man of God, as he's drinking and doing everything that Muslims don't do. His dad was like a CIA guy. He was a master chess player. It's no wonder, 3 months ago or so, he was arrested. And now he's out. It's strange. Same time that Trump has this indictment going and looming. Very strange. Are these the heroes of the Matrix? Are these our heroes? These people? Payouts to prostitutes, making money off of prostitutes. Are these our heroes that are going to talk to us about God? A lot of people think they are, because it's better than these guys. You know what Biden said? Oh my God, he put out a release after all the terrible things that just went down. I wrote this on Twitter. I said maybe Biden should talk about the 3 children and 3 adults that passed at 33 Burton Hills. Or maybe the black hole that is 33 billion more massive than the sun. Or the 33 people harassing dolphins in Hawaii. 33 everywhere you go in the news. Asteroid the size of 33 armadillos to pass the Earth on Sunday. 33. Right around there. That's when, that's the death and the resurrection of Jesus, my friends. We've been talking about it. And then here we are. The Matrix. The Matrix has us. It's a strange thing. It's a strange thing that all of the things that are happening today, we've talked about. It's not new. It's not new. Apollo and Artemis. They were the twins. They were the twins. By the way, upper left-hand corner, that's Space Force. That's the Space Force hat. Looks a lot like the Baphomet. Yep. And then top right-hand corner, that's a video that I did. I had done a video called 11/11, where I basically said, these are your heroes. And then Elon tweeted out like a couple of days later at 11/11, the same thing that I basically said, which was strange. But it's all programming and telling for people like you and me. It's kind of telling us what's coming next. And what's ironically strange about Apollo is the terrible, because of all these terrible storms, there was just a really bad roof collapse at the Apollo Theater in Illinois. And of course, a lot of people are making a big deal out of the groups that were playing there. They were like death metal bands, Into the Devil and all that stuff. Crypta and Morbid Angel and Revocation and Skeletal Remains. And, well, they were traveling the country and a tour called the United States of Terror. That's not a joke. Take a look at that. United States of Terror. That's what's, that's the world we're in. That's the American Apocalypse. That's the series that's on Netflix about Waco and Koresh. Koresh, whose name means Cyrus. And of course, Trump began his big tour on the anniversary for that place. The American Apocalypse going down at the same time that there's terror everywhere. Come on. It's just, the Matrix has us. And it's no wonder. It's no wonder that everybody is so confused. And confused about a lot of things. Because, I got to tell you, they were making a big deal in the Senate and everything else about like TikTok and the gathering of data. It's like, oh, it's TikTok. They have all their information. Well, newsflash, everybody. Every single app that they have all of your information. It's not just TikTok that's doing this. It's every one of them. TikTok is most likely showing your children a bunch of things that it wouldn't show in China. Just so you know. That's why we have craziness going on now, because people have been brainwashed. It's called programming. Programming. Tell a lie to your vision. Television. Programming. Works just right through the phone. The iPhone. It's craziness. It's why the world is the way it is. So we have this thing going down called the Restrict Act. Who's heard about this? Tell me in the live chat. And leave me a comment if you know anything about the Restrict Act, because I have a feeling this is going to become bigger news in the future. Right now, it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. But the rundown is you're not going to have any privacy. You're not going to have any privacy. This act would allow government to access all your data on all your devices. That includes services like the Ring doorbell. This is why I don't have Ring. This is why I don't have the Amazon, whatever it's called. I don't know, was the Echo or the Google Home? I got none of that stuff. I got the phone. The phone's enough, right? Listening to me, spying on me, getting me to buy things that I don't need just because I say things. Oh, good grief. It's always trying to get me to buy stuff for my hair because I'm getting gray. Probably always talking about how gray I am. If you go back just a couple of years when I used to use Just for Men, I think I look a lot weirder. But it was phony baloney stuff. It was dye. It was Just for Men. I was trying to look young. Now I'm just embracing my elderhood, if that's a word. The Restrict Act is not a joke. I think over the next couple of months, especially because we're going into Easter, it's going to be a very interesting time. We got a lot of other things on the horizon. Shows I'm going to be talking about very soon. This huge comet that's arriving in 2024. It's going to be a game changer. 2024, I think that's when that's when it happens. I don't know. At the end of this 6 years, 6 months, 6 day eclipse, the American eclipse in between, 2024, I think something big's going to come down. You got to tell me if you think that that's the case as well. But it is what it is. So on the third day, which is the day that we're in, why did I bring up the Matrix? Why did I bring up the Matrix? Because believe it or not, it's in Scripture. The Matrix would be the womb. I don't remember it being in Scripture, but a lot of people say that it was in Scripture. I think it's a Mandela effect. But let me just see if I can just pull this up. And I want to read this to you because this has to do with Exodus. And this is God speaking to Moses. Let me get to a display here. And I'm going to pull this over, and then we're going to end the show on a really cool note. Because this whole thing is weird. The witch hunt is on, people. The witch hunt is on. Oh, you know what? That's what I should do. I should let me pull up my website as well, which is, by the way, is JacobIsraelcom. And the name of the essay is called A Warning Ignored. Let me see. You know what? Let me just bring this over so you can all see this, what I'm doing. So JacobIsrael.com. And if you go over here, so like you sign up right over here. Do me a favor. If you want to donate, you could donate there. But subscribe here. That's just your email subscription. It's free. It'll notify you anytime. And if you want to search for anything, if you want to learn about anything, I've so many essays here. A Warning Ignored is a video that I did and an essay that I wrote on a dream. So I wrote this essay years ago. Let's take a look at this article. So now here's the dream. I just want to talk about the dream for a second because I was going to do this last week, but I didn't get around to it. And I know that there are a lot of new people here, and I know that this seems a little out there. But God does speak to us in dreams. About a third of the scriptures have to do with dreams, believe it or not. A lot of people don't know this, but dreams are huge. And he spoke to Joseph, interpreted dreams. Joseph was given a dream to get out when they put the census through, and then they were coming for the Christians. Isn't it interesting that just a couple of years ago the big census went through in the United States, and now it seems like Christians are being targeted and being attacked and being, killed? This is horrible, right? It's a witch hunt is what it is. So a while ago, I had this kooky dream, and it was so important to me, it stayed with me, that I immediately, went to my website and I wrote it. And in the dream, I found myself, I thought I was standing in Israel. I believed I was on the Western Wall Plaza. I thought because it was a dome building. That's basically the reason. I just knew there was a dome building. And I knew it was an important holy site in Israel. And ironically, the capital is, by the way. So that's very strange. There were thousands of people that were behind gates. I was standing in the center. And in front of me, there was a huge statue that reminded me of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Now, this statue, as basically over the years, is associated with Trump. And the last kingdom being the kingdom that we're in right now. Very strange. And this idol stood tall overlooking all of Israel, much like Trump did. I stood in the center, and I noticed thousands were behind me. Now, for years, I didn't understand why everybody wanted to see Harry Potter 3. I understood in the dream that everyone was there to watch what many would call witchcraft. Isn't that strange? That everything's about a witch hunt right now? That's strange. So then I just remembered that it was, really had to do with the spirit of rebellion, but it's just weird that here we are, we have the dome building, we have people going crazy, and then we have this laptop, which comes into play, which is going to come into play very shortly. You're going to watch as everything is going to be flipped on its side. Everything that you think you knew is going to be revealed to be the way you always knew it was. And you're going to feel redeemed. You're going to be like, we knew that this was screwy. We knew that these people were being treated poorly. This whole thing with Trump being arrested, this is a big deal. If he is locked up, because on Tuesday, everybody's calling for this big thing on Tuesday coming up. And I'm saying, like I said before the January 6th thing, don't go. Please don't go. Please don't get involved in any of this nonsense. We see how, Jacob, the horn dude, the shaman, was led around like he was like an actor. That's what they do with actors. They have people that are, let's bring you over here. Let's get the pictures. That doesn't seem right, does it? And now he's freed and everybody's like, the shaman is free. Shaman is witchcraft. It's all witchcraft. But let's get back to the Matrix. Let's get back to this because I just want to end it with Exodus chapter 13. So the Lord spoke to Moses saying, sanctify unto me the firstborn. Whatsoever opens the womb, that, by the way, would be matrix if we're using, you'll see in a second. Among the children of Israel, both men of beast and beast. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which you came out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This came out of the month of Abib. And it shall be, the Lord shall bring you into the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites. These are the enemies, people. And the Amorites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. These are scary people. Which he sware unto your fathers to give to you. This is all of us. God's going to give us the land of the enemy, a land that's flowing with milk and honey. That you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Leaven is something that is proud. It puffs up the bread, okay? So it's symbolic of pride. You don't need to be eating no Alvin Bragg bread. Bragg pride. You see what I'm saying? And the 7th day shall be a feast of the Lord. You're going to rest. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall be no leavened bread be seen with you, neither shall there be leaven seen with you in all your quarters. In other words, get rid of your pride, get rid of your judgment, get rid of your condemnation. And you shall show your son in that day, saying, this is done because of that which the Lord did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. This is a sign upon your hand. and for a memorial between your eyes, that the Lord's law may be in your mouth. For a strong hand hath the Lord brought you out of Egypt. People, we are going to be brought out of Egypt, but we need to be humble. Thou shalt keep, therefore, this ordinance in his season from year to year. And it shall be when the Lord shall bring you into this land, as he swore unto you and to your fathers, and he shall give it to you, that you, that's all of us, shall set apart unto the Lord all that opened the matrix, and every firstling that cometh of a beast which thou hast, the males shall be the Lord's. Every firstling of the ass shalt thou redeem with a lamb. If you will not redeem it, then you shall break its neck, and all the firstborn men among your children shalt thou redeem. And it shall be when your son asks you in the time to come, saying, what is this? You're going to say to them, by the strength of the hand of the Lord brought us out of Egypt from the house of bondage. And it came to pass when Pharaoh, which is Pharaoh's in charge right now, and Pharaoh would hardly let us go, has not made it easy, and Pharaoh's making it harder, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both firstborn man and beast. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that openeth the matrix, being males. But all the firstborn of my children I redeem. Okay, let me explain this to you. God's going to redeem the firstborn of him, the children of God. He's not going to redeem those that were born in Egypt. The firstborn of Egypt, the system, the beast system, the firstborn of that, like I came into this world and I took upon myself the sins of the world, much like you did, much like Jesus did. We were born and we began to believe all the lies they told us. And the truth of who Christ is died. Took upon himself the sins of the world and died. But now the resurrection is here. Those that open the matrix, those that can see beyond the lies, the firstborn of which that are God's are going to be redeemed. That's the day we're in. That's why you can't eat the leavened bread. You can't be a proud, angry, hateful person anymore. You got to do the right thing. Open the matrix. Be born again. That's what it means to be born again. It's no longer I that live, Paul said, but Christ in. So in other words, I believed that I was somebody that I wasn't. But then I put away those childish thoughts and I understood that I'm saved. By Christ I am saved. The power and wisdom of God. Christ in you is the hope of glory. The glory of God in Scripture is to conceal a thing. But when the matrix is opened, when you see past the baloney, Christ comes, is revealed in the glory, in the mystery. Today's the day when we all are going to be born again, born anew, born into the kingdom. But the firstborn of Israel, they have a promise. They're going to have that sweet land, that land flowing with milk and honey, understanding and wisdom and truth. But the firstborn of Egypt, they're in some trouble. And I wouldn't doubt that in the world we start to see some trouble with the youngsters. God forbid. God forbid. All right, listen. I hope that this made some sense to you. I thank you so much. I missed this super chat. I appreciate that. Let's see, who is this? Who is this who said such a nice thing to me? KJC, thank you. It says, not much, but I love your videos. Listen, I love you. It doesn't matter how much you give or whatever. If you hit the like button, it means something. If you share the video around, it means something. If you're a patron, it means something. If you buy the merch, it means anything that you can do means something to me, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful you all took the time to talk to me today, and I'm hoping that this video doesn't get struck down. It's like so exhausting. It's so exhausting, the system. But all who open the matrix, they're the Lord's. So open the matrix today, people. I love each and every one of you. Please do share, subscribe, hit like, do all those things, and have the best day ever. I will see you again real soon. Enjoy the show, because it's about to get wild. Talk to you soon. Love you. Bye-bye.